Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's Public and Protective Committee Services Committee. Oh, I got tongue-tied there. I'm your chair, Councillor Chris Thiessen. We'll call this meeting to order, and joining me today in chamber is Councillor Berg, and online we have Mayor Clayton and Councillor Blackmore. And I'll look for a motion to adopt the agenda. Councillor Berg.
Thank you, Chair Thiessen. I'd like to move committee adopt the agenda as presented.
That motion is in order. We'll call it to question. And that motion carries. Thank you very much. Moving right along into reports, we'll move right to item 4.1, our service area update. And for that, I'll turn it to our chief, Mr. Dan Lemieux.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So starting my update with enforcement services. So over the past 2 weeks, enforcement services have remained actively engaged in community-focused initiatives. So officers have continued their participation in Safety City, educating children on important road and bicycle safety practices. Additionally, officers took part in the Special Olympics Summer Games hosted in Grande Prairie, and that was an excellent opportunity to connect with the community and support a meaningful event that brought together athletes, families, and residents from across the region. Enforcement Services has recently launched a focused enforcement campaign targeting the unauthorized use of engine retarder brakes, so Jake brakes. Those are unauthorized within city limits. So in support of the noise, nuisance, and disturbances bylaw, officers are issuing $250 fines to drivers who create excessive and unnecessary noise by using these brakes in prohibited areas. This initiative underscores our ongoing commitment to enhancing residents' quality of life by reducing avoidable noise disturbances in neighborhood. From a mobile outreach, in June 2025, mobile outreach supported a total of 272 unique individuals. Of these, 63 were new to outreach services, with 56 individuals actively engaged in casework services during this period. Update from the RCMP. In support of the Special Olympics in Grande Prairie, the law enforcement torch run stopped by the detachment on Friday, July 11th, and detachment members and staff took a few minutes out of their day to honor and support the event participants and organizers. Again, from the RCMP on July 25th, so this Friday, the 51st annual Archie Harvey Memorial Golf Tournament will be held at the Dunes Golf and Winter Club. This event is in honor of Corporal Harvey, who was a member of the RCMP and was killed in the line of duty in Grande Prairie on June 23, 1967. Funds raised at the tournament will be donated to many community organizations, including Camp Heal a Heart. And RCMP leadership is ensuring that members are provided with appropriate support following the tragic incidents of Friday evening in the rural area north of the city. From the Recreation Department, the new Youth Outdoor Conditioning registered class launched on July 15th with a full roster of 20 participants, age 11 to 15. So over 8 sessions, young athletes will build strength, endurance, and confidence. The added opportunity has generated a new certified fitness revenue and is off to a great start. The Summer Blast Pass sales officially wrapped up on July the 14th, surpassing the previous year's sales. So this marks a modest but positive year-over-year sales increase, reflecting steady community interest and the value residents continue to place on this seasonal incentive. And passes must be redeemed by August the 9th and can be shared. From our events and programming department, the Western Canada Rib Fest Tour wrapped up their Grande Prairie event over the weekend at Bonnet's Energy Centre with better than anticipated attendance. And upcoming events include Heritage Day on August the 2nd at Muskosipi Park, Experience GP on August 29th, downtown on 101st Avenue, and Grand Con September 12th to 14th at the Bonnet's Energy Centre. And also, Cirque Musica Holiday Wonderland 2025 tour has just been announced for December the 3rd at Bonnet's Energy Centre, and tickets go on sale this Friday, July 25th at 10 a.m. From the Grande Prairie Fire Department, the Fire Department would like to extend thanks to Mayor Clayton and Council for their engagement during the tour on July 18th and for their ongoing support to the department. The discussions at that tour were productive and highlighted shared priorities in safety, preparedness, and community service. And as part of our commitment to community risk reduction, the Grande Prairie Fire Department conducted a rain stream demonstration this week. The rain stream demonstration is basically a giant 100-foot tower with a huge sort of sprinkler head on top that can douse a large area fairly quickly. So this device is capable of delivering a large volume of water over a wide surface area, to totally saturating the ground or to stop or minimize wildland-urban interface fires. So the next step after this demonstration is to analyze the data provided and review it with our fire operations team to determine whether this type of unit can effectively help reduce the risk in wildland-urban interface within our community. And Grande Prairie Fire Department is currently in the process of upgrading the station learning system. The existing system, which was installed when the building was originally constructed, has reached the end of its life cycle. That's a system that plays a critical role in notifying firefighters of each station when an emergency call is received. And lastly, from GPREP, Emergency Management, GPREP is in the process of finalizing a memorandum of understanding with Pembina Pipeline Corporation. This agreement aims to enhance response capacity and coordination between the region and industry during emergency events. And GPREP is emphasizing upcoming training opportunities in the Instant Command System. Targeted training sessions are being planned for September, October, and November with a focus on enhancing municipal readiness and section capabilities. And Mr. Chair, that's my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much for that, Chief Lemieux. I'll turn it over to committee members for questions. And first in line, I have Councillor Blackmore.
Thank you, Councillor Thiessen. I have two questions. The first is, I've already forgotten what you called it, Chief Lemieux, but I'll call it a giant sprinkler. Is that something that we would be able to purchase and share ownership with the county?
Chief Lemieux.
Thank you for the question through the chair. So we're at the early stage. This is a fairly new innovation that both city, county, and also the provincial government is looking at. So it's a fairly expensive capital item. I think it's $750,000. So we're doing the analysis right now to see should municipality own these things or should the province own a number of them that could be deployed, because they're on a trailer and they can be moved, readily. So that analysis is happening right now.
Awesome. I'll go back to Councillor Blackmore.
And we talked about Heritage Days. I'm wondering, we've made some changes to Heritage Days, so I'm wondering if Chief Lemieux could let people know what Heritage Days might look like. Chief Lemieux?
So I don't have that information at the tip of my tongue, but later on, I believe Mrs. Ridgway will be joining us, and I'll ask her to provide that update just before she gets into her report, if that's okay.
Works for the chair.
It's good.
Thanks for your questions, Councillor Blackmore. I got Councillor Burke.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Thiessen. Not 100% sure if this falls under Public and Protective Services, but I'll bring it up anyway. I had a citizen just ask me on the weekend. Their understanding around CN is when they added the crosswalk or the arms for control, that CN would have the ability to lay off the horns that they fire off. And I think the reason that this is coming up is so many people sleep with their windows open in the summer, and so they're hearing it a lot louder. So the request was their understanding other Alberta municipalities have been able to get their railways to stop the horns, particularly at night, now that there's the crossing arms. Do you have any idea on that or could speak to that?
I think my friend Mr. Glavin can help us with that one.
Certainly can, and I'll turn it over to Chief Glavin.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Thiessen. I believe the main requirement comes down to fencing along the line in order for whistling to cease. That does not mean that a conductor cannot whistle if there's a hazard that they perceive on the rail. But right now, we do not have a fully enclosed area at the crossings with appropriate fencing, and therefore they would continue to whistle until that occurred.
Okay.
We have considered fencing in the past. It is likely to be several $1 million to do the entirety of the railway within the city.
Okay. Yeah, I really appreciate that update, and I'm now better informed. Thank you.
Thanks for your question, Councillor Berg. I'll turn it over back to committee. I don't see any other hands shooting up online. I don't have anything to add. I was going to add the CN stuff. I know council's looked at this in the past, but I'll just make a comment that getting to see a group of about 8 peace officers on their bikes last week gave me great joy, knowing that, hey, they're just gathering together, and then they're going to go off and check out the safety of our community on the 2 wheels rather than the 4 wheels. So that's always a good thing. I love it when those RCMP or the enforcement officers, I guess, or peace officers, are out on their bikes, being active and doing the things to keep our city safe. Moving right along, item 4.2, the Bose pilot project progress update. Lots of P's in there, but I know it's all good news, like happy has an extra P in it right now. And I'll turn it over to Chief Lemieux to introduce this.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So part of our outstanding items list was a review of the Bose pilot project with regards to the tennis group. And so Director Ridgway will provide that update along with an update on the Heritage Day activities.
Welcome, Ms. Ridgway.
Thank you, Chair Thiessen. To start with the Heritage Day update, the event will look the same in the museum. We're still doing our Heritage Day offerings from 12 to 5 on Saturday, August 2nd. We're looking at lots of community booth, the blacksmith demonstrations, rope making activities, old-fashioned bingo, all kinds of old games, pards, petting zoo, all of those fun things. But we've also incorporated a collaboration with the Grande Prairie Intercultural Association Bites Around the World event, which will be held in the parking lot by the mini golf. Also, the Hindu Chariot Festival will be held in the green space around the amphitheater. So we're trying to collaborate with our cultural partners and elevating the event. Moving into our report, thank you, Chair Thiessen. I'm happy to be here today to report back on the success of the Bose pilot project for information. In response to direction from committee, administration launched an indoor tennis pilot project at the Bose in October 2024 to assess the year-round demand, community interest, and revenue potential. The pilot has been a clear success, generating over $23,000 in additional revenue, which was offset by the initial $7,000 investment in equipment. The initiative significantly increased venue utilization between event bookings and contributed to a more vibrant atmosphere at the Bonnets Energy Centre. Operational efficiencies were also realized during the pilot. The setup time has been reduced by half, and all requirements for tennis are met with our existing staff complement, incurring no additional costs. The booking process transitioned from club-managed scheduling to a public-facing online registration system, enhancing accessibility and flexibility for users. Feedback from the Grande Prairie Tennis Club and regular participants has been overwhelmingly positive, highlighting the space as both functional and welcoming. The pilot also has broadened community engagement, attracting a diverse group of users to the Bose that wouldn't typically be there, including many professionals and physicians. Based on its financial viability, social value, and operational success, administration will continue to offer tennis bookings at the Bose. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that report, Mr. Ridgway. I'll turn it over to committee for questions. I have Councillor Blackmore in queue.
Thank you, Councillor Thiessen. I, of course, have been very supportive of the tennis club taking over this space. I think it's wonderful that we get to use a space that has previously often been vacant. I know from talking to tennis players, while they're very happy to be able to play indoors, the floor is a bit of an issue for them. And I'm wondering if we've given, if Ms. Ridgway has any idea of the cost that it would take to refurbish the floor to make it less slippery for them. I'm not asking this to be, I'm not suggesting this is something we're going to do right now, but I would like to know what that would look like moving forward.
Thanks for the question, Councillor Blackmore. Ms. Ridgway.
Thank you, through the chair. There has been initial investigation into flooring types that could work for both events and tennis. That's currently sitting in Angela Redding's area with recreation, but I know there's work being done on that currently.
Okay, thank you for that, Ms. Ridgway.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Blackmore. I did have a question as well. So it's great to hear tennis, and this is all good news story for utilization and costs and revenue. My question is there an opportunity for us to entertain other sports, such as maybe pickleball or volleyball, inside that same space, or is this just for tennis for now?
Thank you, through the chair, for the question. So we did engage with pickleball and volleyball during our initial consultations. The roof isn't quite high enough for volleyball, and we don't have the nets currently in our arsenal, I guess, to be able to set up and have freestanding. Typically, they're posts drawn into the flooring. So something we could look at in the future. Pickleball definitely could make that work. I know they're not really open to doing their own bookings. They'd like a drop-in sort of a setup, which we're not really set up to do, but something we could look at in the future.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm not seeing anybody else, so I'll turn it over to Councillor Berg to do some business.
Yeah, thanks. Actually, before I do business, I do have one compliment, since we have Ms. Ridgway in the house. It was a special night with the Special Olympics, a beautiful evening. So congratulations to you and your team on hosting that event. It was well organized and just very touching. So compliments to you and your team. So thank you. And around the Bose pilot project, I would like to move committee receive this report for information.
Great. Now I'll turn it back to committee for any discussion or debate. Don't see anybody. Oh, Mayor Clayton just moved her hair. Call to question. And that motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much for the report and the update, Ms. Ridgway. And I'll turn it back over to our chief in charge, Mr. Dan Lemieux.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So with regards to the outstanding items list, today we'd ask that we remove item 1327, the Bose pilot program that was just discussed with council.
Thanks for that, and I'll turn it back to you, Mr. Berg.
Thank you, Chair Thiessen. I'd like to move committee receive the July 22nd outstanding items list as amended for information.
That motion is clearly in order. Call to question. And that carries. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here today. This concludes our Public and Protective Services Committee meeting. And saying that, this meeting is adjourned. We'll be right back with the Council Committee of the Whole.